Hello everyone. उम्मीद करता हूँ you all are well. So today you can see on the screen in front of you written Revolt of 1857. So ladies and gentlemen, आज के इस सेशन में मैं ये 1857 की क्रांति, सिपाही विद्रोह जिसे बोला जाता है, उसके ऊपर डिस्कशन करूंगा. So before I proceed forward, I would like to tell you, it was the year 1757. After the Battle of Plassey, Britishers started expanding their administrative control over India, and the Regulating Act of 1773 was the first step towards controlling or having administrative control throughout the country. And it is also known as for the first time in Indian history, there is a central administration, according to Regulating Act 1773. तो कोई एक म्यूटिनी, कोई एक विद्रोह एक दिन का रिजल्ट नहीं होता है. So obviously there must be some suppression for long duration, and of course Indian society was feeling that suppression, exploitation for last 100 years after the Battle of Plassey. And in the year 1857, that took a shape of revolt. Actually, as it started first from the Meerut, है ना, मेरठ से मंगल पांडे ने जब अपने सूबेदार मेजर को, सर्जन मेजर को शूट कर दिया. सो देयर फ्रॉम दिस स्टार्टेड, बट दैट वाज द इमीडिएट कॉज. उससे पहले भी बहुत सारे रीजंस थे सप्रेशन के, एक्सप्लॉयटेशन के, हेवी टैक्सेशन के ऑन द पीपल ऑफ इंडिया. सो समवेयर they were aggressively not accepting the theories and the policies of Britishers on the people of India. So that actually took shape of this mutiny, the revolt of 1857, so called the First War of Independence. But it is an irony when I explain you, but this was not a First War of Independence. This statement is said by R.C. Majumdar. So he told that this was neither a first war of independence, nor it was a war of independence of India. See, logically he is correct, because when we will understand this concept of 1857 revolt, you will find various princes, various kings of India, including Sindhya of Indore and Nizam of Hyderabad, kings of Ajmer. Many kingdoms were not supporting Indians. Actually, they were suppressing the revolt with the help of Britishers. They were actually helping directly to the Britishers. So until there is no unity in India, how you can say it was the war for Indians, war of independence? So this is the matter of thinking and have a better concept to omit the wrong options in your examination. So today, this session, in this class, we will discuss from the interesting story point of view. At the same time, also focus on some important concept of this revolt, because it is very important topic from modern history for NDA, CDS, and any other defense examination or the examination which is being conducted by UPSC. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed, we will I'll show you this statement over here on the screen by R.C. Majumdar, who has stated, it is difficult to avoid the conclusion that the so-called First National War of Independence of 1857 is neither first nor national nor a war of independence. So what do you mean by this? Actually, he wants to say this war was neither first. It means before this, there were various revolt which has taken place against Britishers, against suppressions. So this cannot be the first. Then he states nor national, as the whole country was not united, and rather this was the biggest cause of failure of this revolt, so-called the First National War of Independence. The biggest reason of failure was disunity, disintegration among the people of India. They were not united. And also those leaders who were involved in this revolt, they were involved for their personal reasons. They all came together to fight against Britishers. This goal was not clear for independence. Goal was against suppressions. Goal was against heavy taxation. Goal was against continuation of the kingdom. So these all we are going to understand in detail, not a war of independence. It is clear to all of you. So before I proceed, I will tell you how I'm going to explain this topic. First of all, I will give you the overview of this. So this is my way to teach some topics so that once the overview is given to you, you will better understand the concept of the particular new things which is in front of you. So the overview is needed. Then the causes of the revolt. There cannot be one cause. There can be social causes, economic cause, military cause, administrative cause. So various causes were there. Some immediate effect was there to broke out this revolt. That we will discuss. Then we'll proceed to the leaders of the revolt. The important leaders. Actually, there were many people. It's very difficult to count them. That many people were there who were fighting in this revolt of 1857 against Britishers. But still, we will recognize the leaders. Then important centers of the revolt. We'll see from the examination point of view, these two are important. Causes is also important. Then outcome. Actually, what was the outcome of this revolt? That is also important. Then comes causes of failures of the revolt. Why this big mega revolt of 1857 failed? What could be the reason? That is very important topic to be discussed. Then we'll see the above all the impact of the revolt on Indian people, Indian society. After the failures, what Britishers did next or Europeans did next. That is also the concern to understand. Before we proceed to the overview of this topic, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you, recently the result was out for NDA and CDS. First of all, congratulations to those students who were able to clear their written exam. At the same time, a piece of advice for those students who are going to clear the next upcoming written exams of NDA CDS 2022. So this is a very, very precious time. You can say very important time to start from beginning. If you have not started yet, you should start from now to work on your weaker section where you are unable to score the marks. Before you are going to prepare for your exam, you must plan better which are the weak sections where you are unable to score the marks, and accordingly you should work. If required, you should go for the mentorship by your seniors, experts, some educators of our academy. So you should get some support from the people. Even you can get support from various YouTube channels for preparation of NDA and CDS. Then you should immediately start the preparation in a smart way. You cannot study whole things. And for the reading, for the preparation, materials, endless materials are available on internet and with you. You cannot retain all the information. So you needed better support, better mentorship is needed. And at the same time, you should plan well to start your preparation. So for your kind information, I would like to tell you our next batches for NDA and series are coming from 20th of June. At the very cheap prices, you can get registered for the batches, and you can contact this number to get registration done. To get more information regarding the upcoming batches of SSB Stores or Academy, download our application from Google Play Store. This academy provides all those classes which are required to be into the Armed Forces Academy to become officers in the Armed Forces. We provide online and offline SSB courses, personality development courses, English spoken courses, and of course, written courses for NDA, CDS, and AFCAT regularly on regular basis. Let's come back to the topic. First of all, the overview. See, the immediate cause of this revolt was replacement of the rifle. So previously, which rifle was used? That was brown base musket gun that was used previously. So that was this musket gun was replaced by infield rifle. तो अब आप बोलोगे कि इसमें क्या उतना विशेष बातें हैं जिसके कारण ये रिवोल्ट हो गया, इतना बड़ा शेप ले लिया इस रिवोल्ट ने? इसमें कारण था कि they attacked, actually the rumor was spread on the disintegration of the faith of and trust of the religious people. Actually Hindus and Muslim, trust towards their religions were hurted. So see, what was the concept behind this? The rumor was spread ki in the new inducted rifle, that was infield rifle, people needed to bite off the cartridge before loading it, and that cartridge is greased with the fats of pig and cow. Pig, इवन देखो, पिग का नाम लेना भी मुस्लिम के लिए गुनाह है, नापाक बोलते हैं, और हिंदुओं के लिए दे कैन नॉट इवन थिंक ऑफ biting of the fat of cow, because cow is worshipped in the Hindu traditions and by the Hindu people in Hindu religion. So this was the immediate cause for the outbreak, because people, the soldiers of Meerut refused to fire or to load this cartridge in the infield rifle. So soldiers of Barakpur refused to use that fat containing cartridge, and Mangal Pandey at Meerut killed his sergeant major on the spot. So that was the reason when the Mangal Pandey attacked. The revolt actually started on that moment only. The sepoys marched to Delhi and declared Bahadur Shah Jafar, then Mughal emperor of India, as a emperor of India, as the independent emperor of India. So that was their target, their goal. But due to the lack of, what we say, better leadership, this was not able to achieve. They were not able to achieve, and there were various reasons that we will discuss. Then after, what happened? Exploitative procedures. Actually, this was the immediate code which I told you. Using of grease of pig and cows in the cartridge of infield rifle. That was the immediate cause. Then comes, let's go back after the Battle of Plassey in the 1757. Exploitative procedures after that, in the process of expanding their administrative control in India. So they used to exploit the people, who Britishers I'm talking about. So these companies used to exploit the people politically, socially, and on the religious and economical way. They were suppressing the people. So that was also one of the biggest cause, that the people had anger in their mind before this incident of pig and cows. Then comes disunity, disintegration, you can say. People of India were not united. Why? Because Scindia of Gwalior, Holkar of Indore, Nizam of Hyderabad, etc. were actively helping Britishers in suppressing the revolts. So these princes and kingdoms were helping Britishers to suppress the revolt. Now, so this resulted in the lack of unity, and that was the biggest cause of failure. Then comes most important outcome of 1857 was the Queen administration started. On the name of better governments in India, an act was passed that was named as Government of India Act 1858. So with this act, companies rule was abolished. Even the Mughal emperor, Mughal rule was abolished in India. Companies rule was abolished in 1858. Which administration started? The Crown administration started. The Queen of Britain started ruling us directly according to this act. That was the Government of India Act 1858. Then the Governor General of India was replaced by the Viceroy of India, and Lord Canning continued being the Viceroy of India. So this is the overview of this incident. Let's understand it in full detail. तो अभी हम क्या करेंगे, कॉजेज डिस्कस करेंगे, ठीक है. कुछ कॉजेज जैसे कि पॉलिटिकल कॉजेज जो था, इसमें पॉलिटिकल कॉजेज बहुत मेजर रोल प्ले किया है ये इंटीग्रेशन, ये रिवोल्ट के लिए, क्योंकि दिस प्रोवोक्ड वेरियस किंगडम्स टू फाइट अगेंस्ट ब्रिटिशर्स. क्योंकि हमारे किंगडम जो थे, इंडियन प्रिंसेस और किंग्स, दो प्रोविंशियल किंग्स थे, their powers were snatched by Britishers due to the political way, in the political way. So that was the biggest cause. See, Lord Dalhousie policy of annexation and the doctrine of lapse. Actually, यहाँ पे lapse होना चाहिए, L is missing. Doctrine of lapse. So doctrine of lapse or policy of annexation के through, they used to annex the territory of people, territory of Indians kingdom, and they were expanding their administrative control and increasing the people, army, number of armies in the number of soldiers in their army, British. And according to doctrine of lapse, if any kingdom does not have the next higher, then that kingdom will automatically will merge with the British. So had the Indian rulers angry and insecure feeling after these two policies of annexation and a doctrine of lapse. Then the Rani of Jhansi, Lakshmi Bai, was not allowed to adopt a son under the doctrine of lapse policy. She was not allowed to adopt a son. If you do not have your own heir to continue the kingdom, then your complete kingdom is under the control of Britishers. So Jhansi, Rani Bai, Lakshmi Bai, the Rani of Jhansi, fought against Britishers to not accept this doctrine of lapse policy. The Muslim feelings had been badly hurt when, after the death of Bahadur Shah II, Lord Canning took away regal titles and Mughal places. What is regal title? Regal titles are those titles which is being used by the kingdoms, kings and monarchical systems में जो titles use होते हैं, वो सारे titles को abolish कर दिया. किसने? Lord Canning ने. And all the Mughal palaces were seized and were under the control of Britishers. So these were the political causes for the outbreak of this revolt. Now let's see the economical cause. जैसे कि टैक्सेशन बढ़ा दिया गया और हैंडक्राफ्ट्स जो थे इंडियन पीपल का उनको सप्रेस किया गया, उनको इंकरेज नहीं किया गया, तो ऑब्वियसली दे विल नॉट अर्न मच. उन्होंने फोर्सफुली इंडियन फार्मर्स को कैश क्रॉप ग्रो करने को कहा सो दैट दे कैन जनरेट मोर टैक्सेस, जिस जो विच रिजल्टेड इन द फेमाइन. क्योंकि जब एग्रीकल्चरल एक्टिविटीज होगा ही नहीं, कॉस्ट प्रोडक्ट्स कॉस्ट क्रॉप्स हो रहे हैं, तो ऑब्वियसली देयर विल बी इट विल रिजल्ट टू द फेमाइन इन वेरियस प्लेसेस. So let's see the economical cause of this. Britishers had denied Indian of all her wealth and natural resources by selfish economic policies. ये resources जो इंडिया का है, they were actually, Indians were not allowed to utilize those resources for their betterment because they had implied lots of taxes on that. Even their zamindars were not allowed to grow crops according to their wish. So the peasantry were never really to recover from the disabilities, क्योंकि वो लोन दिया करते थे जमींदार्स को, and then after जमींदार्स were not able to pay back the loans, and that was that resulted to seizure of their lands by the Britishers, and or they will be forced to grow the crops according to their wish, Britishers' wish. So imposed by the new and highly unpopular revenue settlement, improvised by heavy taxations, misery to the artisans and handicrafts, क्योंकि इनके artisans और handicrafts जो Indians थे, that were not being encouraged. उन्होंने इसको discourage किया. It was not being bought because उन्होंने European crafts को, European products को India में launch किया. They started selling those products in India. That way they suppress the handicraft artisans and handicrafts people of India because they discouraged Indian handicrafts and promoted British goods. Clear? Then we'll see the Indians and mercantile class was deliberately crippled by the high tariff duties by British. तो वहां से जो आते थे उस पे यहाँ इंडिया में हेवी टैक्सेस लगाकर they used to earn more money. और यहाँ का जो हैंडीक्राफ्ट्स वगैरह है जो अगर यूरोप में जा रहे हैं इन यूरोपियन मार्केट्स, तो बहुत हेवी टैरिफ लगा दिया करता था और इट वाज नॉट एबल टू अर्न मच. So here you can see the farmers were forced to grow cash crops. There was severe food shortage and famine. Already told you, when the cash crops will be used, then obviously there will be severe famine. Agricultural activities were not allowed to do in the lands of people. Very nicely, the Karl Marx has stated on this activity, you can say the economical tyranny on India by Britishers. So how he has said this, it was the British intruder who broke up the Indian handloom and destroyed the spinning wheel because their handicrafts were not encouraged, obviously this will not come in the demand then, है ना, और ये बंद हो जाएंगे. तो एक्चुअली इट वाज डिस्ट्रॉयड द स्पिनिंग व्हील ऑफ इंडिया. स्पिनिंग व्हील यहाँ पे टेक्सटाइल से जुड़ा हुआ है, ठीक है, चरखा से जुड़ा हुआ है. Then come England begin with depriving the Indian cottons from the European market. European market से उन्होंने deprive कर दिया उसको, allow, it was not allowed to sell their the Indian cottons over there in the European market, and it then introduced twist into Hindustan, and in the end it means उन्होंने यूरोप में इंडियन कॉटन्स को यूटिलाइज करने के लिए मना कर दिया, डिप्राइव कर दिया, और अपना कॉटन इंडिया में सेल करना शुरू कर दिया. inundated the very mother country of cotton with cottons. मतलब वो अपना कॉटन, जहाँ पे कॉटन का प्रोड्यूस होता था, the mother country, what we say, the producer of the cotton in India, that was in that country they were selling the European cotton. So that level of exploitation, what you say, the economical exploitation was done on the mercantile and the people related to textiles and handicrafts of India. Now let's get back to the social practices or the social cause. See, इसमें हम क्या बोलेंगे आपको कि सती, discontinuation of sati practices was one of the good step by the Britishers, but for that time when people were accepting it as a part of their religion belief, then they felt that it is an attack on their religion. So that was also one of the cause कि पंडित्स, जो हिंदूज पंडित थे, they revolted against that कि Britishers are attacking on our culture, because Britishers were against the study practices, है ना, जिसमें कि विडो को लाइव फायर पे जलना होता था अपने हस्बैंड के फायर पे. तो that was that. Again, you can see the Christian missionaries came in India. They started converting Muslims and Hindu into Christianity. So इसमें Muslim Maulvis and Hindus Pandits were again against them, because इनके people, they were getting converted to the Christianity and they were losing their own real religion. So that was the social causes. Apart from this, there was widow remarriage, which was introduced. According to Hindu practices, widow remarriage was not allowed. Then comes child marriage. They stopped child marriage. So actually these are the good steps, from my point of view, what I say. But anyway, at that time it was against the social practices, so the people revolted against Britishers. So that was the social cause. Okay. Then comes administrative cause. See, in administration, what Britishers used to do, on the small post Indians were deployed, and on the higher post Britishers were deployed. So high posts and handsome salaries were given to the Britishers, and this caused frustration among Indians. The able Indians were not getting the high post in India, and that was being controlled by Britishers. At the same time, for the same work, they were not getting the equal payment. That was the administrative cause of the outbreak. So the people from administrative background revolted against Britishers. The military cause, already told you. At the same time, one more point I would like to add you in military cause, that the highest rank which was given to Indians was Subedar. Post of Subedar was the highest rank, and the officers' rank were only given to the Britishers. So all the Indian soldiers were treated with the great contempt, while the British soldiers got up to high posts, and Indian soldiers could not be rise above the post of a Subedar. Okay? So that was the military cause. Immediate cause, very important to know. We'll repeat once again. See, immediate cause was regarding that use of the rifle, that was infield rifle, a new rifle which was introduced. Musket gun को replace करके infield rifle को launch किया गया था. So इसके cartridge of the rifle had a greased paper which was to be beaten off, then to reload the rifle. तो इस process में वो जो greased paper था, that grease was used of the fat of cow and pig. That was actually a rumor. That rumor spread and like a fire in the jungle amongst the Hindus and the Muslims of Indian soldiers, in British Indian British soldiers at that time. So it was known that the grease paper was made up of the fat of the cows and pigs. This angered the Indians who just needed a spark to ignite. Actually, ये वोल्केनो जो था ना अंदर में, वो ऑलरेडी बना हुआ था, बिकॉज ऑफ द 100 years of suppressions, that was the social, political, military, administrative, these all economical suppressions. So ये जो था ना 1757 के बाद से वो पनप रहा था, बट उनके एक चिंगारी की जरूरत थी, एक इमीडिएट एक्शन की जरूरत थी, इमीडिएट इफेक्ट की जरूरत थी टू आउटब्रेक. तो दैट वाज द इमीडिएट इफेक्ट कि ये अब हमारे रिलीजन पे प्रहार कर रहे हैं, दे आर अटैकिंग ऑन आवर रिलीजन नाउ. सो नाउ वी शुड obviously fight back to get our freedom. तो यहाँ से ये एक्चुअली पनपा, ये रिवोल्ट ऑफ 1857. So Mangal Pandey, an Indian sepoy, was hanged because he refused to open the grist paper of the cartage, and Mangal Pandey had already sought sergeant major in merit. Then comes, let's come to the next subtopic of this session, that is about the leaders of the revolt. First of all, we'll discuss regarding the Mangal Pandey. The Mangal Pandey was the first soldier to protest. Soon other soldiers revolted. The revolt started in Meerut on 10th May 1857. Then it took few months to spread in most of the regions in India, mainly in North Indians region, like in Delhi, Kanpur, Lucknow, Jhansi. It also came it was led by Veer Kuwar Singh in Bihar and other regions. So it started with the introduction of the infield rifle in the army. Okay. So the Indian soldiers refused to use these bullets and revolted against the British, and this revolt is also known as First War of Independence. First War of Independence on the basis of concept, but it was not well planned revolt. If it would have been well planned, obviously there would have been success to get the freedom. There was no proper leadership. Unity was not there. Well planning was not done before the revolt. And also the trained armies were not with the Indians. And Britishers had their trained army, so they were able to suppress, with the help of various Indian rulers, they were able to suppress the revolt. Then comes Nana Sahib, who fought from the Kanpur. Actually, he was the adopted son of exiled Maratha Peshwa Bajirao II. मराठा पेशवा बाजीराव टू के वो एडॉप्टेड सन थे, तो इन्हें बोला गया था कि पेंशन मिलेगा, he will get pension, and his power was already seized by the Britishers. So this pension was even not given to him. Britishers denied giving the pension to this Nana Sahib. Then the company's refusal to continue the pension after his father's death, as well as what he perceived as high-handed policies, compelled him to revolt and seek freedom from the company rule in India. So as he didn't get pension, that was the reason for Nana Sahib. He revolted back to the Britishers and wanted Indian freedom. Next, we'll see there is Tatya Tope. So he born in Yola in Nasik district of Maharashtra. He was the son of Pandurang Rao Tope and his wife Rukmani. So when James Andrew born Ramsay, first Marquess of Dalhousie, derived Nana Sahib of his father's pension, so that way he also revolted back, the Tata Tope. And actually he was executed by the British government at Shivpuri on 18th April 1959. So he also fought against Britishers because of the discontinuation of the pensions what he should get after the seizure of kingdom. Then comes Rani of Jhansi, Rani Lakshmi Bai. All of you know, under the doctrine of lapse, she was unable to have her own heir to her kingdom. So she was her control was annexed by the Britishers over the Jhansi. So she fought very bravely. Even Britishers captain was surprised to see her brave, her bravery actions against the Britishers. Subhadra Chauhan has wrote a beautiful poem on her in Hindi. Khoob ladi mardani wo to Jhansi wali rani thi. Really, it's a very motivating poem. I will suggest you should go through that. In the almost 150 years since the blatantly committed herself to the revolt known as the Indian Mutiny, Lakshmi Bai, the Rani of Jhansi, has been the only leader to be described in positive terms by her adversaries. She was the only leader which was praised positively by the Britishers. Britishers praised her as a warrior queen. So that was the guts of, you can say, the Rani Lakshmi Bai, who alone fought back so bravely against the Britishers. Then comes Begum Hazrat Mahal, who fought from the Awadh, wife of Waji Ali Shah, the queen of Awadh. So though she was very charming and affable in nature, but again she was very strong leader and very, you can say, brave leader to fight back the Britishers. She bravely led her army one of the central places of the revolt in Lucknow. So देखो यहाँ पे क्वेश्चंस कैसे आ सकते हैं कि who fought from Awadh? Exam in options you will get Tata Tope, Nana Sahab, Begum Hazrat Mahal, Rani Lakshmi Bai. So your correct option should be Begum Hazrat Mahal. ठीक है? So that way the questions may come may come from these regions. Then you will see Maulvi Liaquat Ali. He was very humble and simple man, but when it came to fight against Britishers, he was again fought bravely, and he actually flew to Nepal. The Jamindars of Chel were least relatives and followers, and they supported Maulvi with their men and ammunitions. Consequently, it was with great difficulty that the Britishers regained control of the city of Allahabad after the Maulvi had captured the Khusro Bagh and declared the independence of India. Then comes Kuwar Singh. He was of around 80 years old. At the age of 80, he shown his bravery on the battlefield against Britishers. Here you can see he was nearly 80 and failing health when he was called upon to take up arms. He gave a good fight and harried British forces for nearly a year and remained invincible until the end. And it is also considered he was the only leader who was not captured and was not killed by the Britishers, who was alive. He was expert in the art of guerrilla warfare. He was the first Indian warrior after Shivaji to prove the efficacy of the warfare. His tactics left British puzzled, and he never came under the control or under the capture of Britishers. He fought so bravely at the age of even 80. See, this person, Bakht Khan, was already in the army, and he had experience of around 40 years in the army. And he, in this revolt of 1857, he himself fled Delhi and joined rebel forces in Lucknow and Shahjahanpur. And ultimately, on 13th May 1859, he was mortally wounded fighting against Britishers, and he died. Next comes Khan Bahadur Khan Rohilla. Actually, he had established his own government in Bareilly, in Uttar Pradesh. So, at present Uttar Pradesh, he established his own government. Actually, he was the grandson of Hafiz Rahmat Khan, and he formed his own government in Bareilly in 1857. When the Indian revolt of 1857 failed, Bareilly too was subjugated, and then he escaped to Nepal, and the Nepalese people captured him and turned him over to the Britishers. Khan Bahadur Khan was sentenced to death and hanged in the Kotwali on February 24, 1866. So, ladies and gentlemen, now we saw the leaders of 1857 revolt. We have also seen the causes. Now let's see which all the leaders were important from which all of the region of India. Like the leaders, there were various people from one place, but mainly we will look to the leaders. Like from Meerut was Mangal Pandey, then come Delhi, Bakht Khan, who led the revolt. Waqt Khan himself was in the army for 40 years and at the rank of Subedar he was. Then from Awadh, Begum Hazrat Mahal. Then from Kanpur, Nana Sahib, Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai, Gwalior, Tata Tope. From Ara, Bihar, he was Veer Kuwar Singh, considered as from Patna also, or you can say Buxar. Many of the common people like the peasants and artisans joined this revolt. So there were not one or two or three or 10 or 100 peoples. All people, directly or indirectly, were joined, except some people, some kings who were not supporting this revolt in the North Indian regions. Then let's discuss the outcome. This is the very important things to discuss, the outcome of this revolt. The revolt was completely suppressed and crushed by July 1858. Within the months, it was crushed and suppressed by the Britishers. Bahadur Shah Jafar surrendered to the British, whom according to this revolt was declared as the Emperor of India. He was surrendered to the British. Peel Commission was constituted for the reorganization of Indian Army. एक पील कमीशन कंस्टिट्यूट किया गया था जिसमें कि इंडियन आर्मी वाज टू बी रीअरेंज्ड. सो उसमें क्या हुआ था कि उन्होंने नंबर ऑफ इंडियन सोल्जर्स वाज डिक्रीज्ड नाउ एंड नंबर ऑफ as compared to the previous, and number of Britishers were increased in the army, but it doesn't resulted that the Britishers were less. No, it doesn't resulted that Britishers were more. Britishers were still less in the number, but the number was increased from the previous data. The commission divided the army in caste, religion, community, etc., so that they can easily had control over the different groups. तो कास्ट में, रिलीजन में, कम्युनिटी में डिवाइड कर दिया गया था, जिससे कि अगेन सिपोई म्यूटिनी जैसी कोई और रिवोल्ट ना हो जाए एंड आर्मी शुड नॉट गेट अगेन यूनाइटेड. सो इस कंसेप्ट के ऊपर उन्होंने आर्मी को कास्ट, रिलीजन एंड कम्युनिटी में डिवाइड कर दिया था आफ्टर द रिवोल्ट ऑफ 1857. देन कम्स द नंबर ऑफ यूरोपियन सोल्जर्स वर इंक्रीज्ड एंड नंबर ऑफ इंडियन सोल्जर्स वर रिड्यूस्ड, बट स्टिल द टोटल स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ Indian soldiers were more in this army. Next comes the causes of failure of the revolt. Completely localized, as a whole India was not participating against the Britishers in this revolt. So we can say it was localized, limited to the some regions. Then comes poorly organized. A better leadership was not done, a better planning was not done before implementation of this revolt. British has better resources than the rebels. Of course, British has control over the administration, then obviously they will have a trained soldiers. They will have trained team of soldiers. But the rebels did not have the trained soldiers, and at the same time ammunitions were less with the rebels. Then comes feudal in character, not much dedicated. Leaders lacked military skills from the Indian side. No unity, which was the biggest cause of the failure, which is considered as the biggest cause, as there was no unity amongst the Indians to fight against Britishers. Then comes the native princes did not join the revolt, like Sindhyas of Gwalior, Holkar of Indore, Nizam of Hyderabad, King of Jodhpur, Nawab of Bhopal, Sikh ruler of Sindh, Maharaja of Kashmir, etc. These small kingdoms actively participated with Britishers to suppress this revolt. That was the biggest failure for Indians. Then comes impact on revolt, impact of the revolt. What was the final impact on the administration policies of on India? That the control of Indian administration was transferred from the East Indian Company to the crown of the Britain by the Government of India Act 1858. According to this, Queen Victoria became the Empress of India and Lord Canning became the first Viceroy of India. Queen Victoria became the Empress and the directly crown administration started in India in the concept to provide better governments in India so that the Sepoy Mutiny should not repeat. That was the declaration made under this government, under this act. So Britishers never proclaimed that it was the first battle or first war of independence by Indians, but they always said it was the Sepoy Mutiny. So with this, we will bind up the this session. Before I bind up, I would like to remind you that SSB SureShot Academy provides various online and offline courses for SSB, for written courses like ND and CDS, and also for personality development, English spoken courses. Generally, you will find all the courses which are required to become officer in the armed forces is being provided by SSB SureShot Academy. Under the leadership and guidance of Maj Gen VPS Bhakuni, veteran Indian Army. To get periodic discount on any courses, you can download our application from Google Play Store. Our next course, which is going to start from 20th of June at the very low price of 4,500. To get again discount on this price, you can contact this number and you can download the application from Play Store. There you will get the discount coupon available for the course. That course is going to start from 20th June for NDA and CDS both. With this, we came to the end of this session. Thank you so much for your kind interest in this. Thank you.